Perfection. What's going on? It's your boy Pop DiBiase for Fanatics View. I'm sitting here hanging out with my man Kelly Pavlik. He's here with us once again. We were with him last year for the Spence Garcia fight over at Jerry's World, but now we're at Jerry's Little World, Jerry's Town. So, Kelly, how you feeling today, brother?
Feeling good. Excited to be here, and it's nice.
How's the podcast going?
It's coming along, man. It's taking off big. A lot of listeners, a lot of interactions, especially on our fight page on Facebook. So it's it brings me here to see these good fights.
All right, and I know I'm gonna ask this question. It's the most obvious question of the week. What are your thoughts on the Wilder Fury 2 fight? And moving forward, what would you do if you're Deontay Wilder, demanding a third rematch?
I thought it was a great fight, especially for the heavyweight division, because we know that some of the crossover fans, the heavyweight division is what brings them into boxing. And I thought that fight really was a big fight, and what Fury did. I didn't believe that when he said that he was going to come out and try to knock Wilder out. I didn't think he was going to do it, but he did. And his strategy and everything he did for that fight was perfect, and it was good for boxing. As far as Wilder, I think Wilder needs to step back. There's other fights out there. I think which would be interesting is put Wilder in against a guy like Andy Ruiz now, or somebody like that, or even Luis Ortiz. That'd be a fight for Wilder again, or the rematch. Well, never mind, not him. He already fought him. Fuck. Who was the other? Parker. Somebody like that. I don't think a third fight's going to benefit Wilder with Fury. And I don't think Fury got anything to gain out of it.
And do you think Andy Ruiz deserves a third fight with AJ?
No, and I think that Fury, AJ, right now, after a big fight like that, it's important in this division to have a guy like Fury. He didn't have a tough fight. He didn't get beat up. It was an easy fight for him. And so I think there's no reason why he needs to take a easy fight now. I think that he should go fight Anthony Joshua, and that'll be big for boxing in that way.
Let's talk a little bit about your division right now. Who are your top 5 middleweights today?
Oh, man, 5, I got a name. Well, Canelo, if he decides to go back to middleweight, obviously he's there. He's the top guy. I know Danny Jacobs moved up, but you got one of the Charlos that's there right now. Andrade's at 160 still. And I think them guys really need to start stepping up and getting some fights themselves. It's time for it. And maybe if not, get Andrade and Charlo to fight. Get one of them guys to fight and make some noise. But everybody's bouncing around. A lot of guys moved out of the middleweight division, Billy Joe Saunders and so on. So,
and how do you feel about David Benavidez?
He's a good fighter, man. He's a top dog, and super middleweight now is becoming like the welterweight division as far as talent and great fighters. You got Benavidez, Bivol talking about coming down to 68. Canelo's still right around that area at 168. There's so many big fights to be made. I just want to start seeing them come together and the fights happening.
And since we're talking about super fights, do you think that we maybe get Spence Crawford this year?
I hope so, and I just hope, people are going to use the car accident and everything like that. I don't think Crawford will get the credit that he deserves, but I don't think a lot of these top fighters get the credit they deserve. I feel like with social media this day and age, it gives everybody that platform to feel relevant and say things. Canelo still hasn't gotten any credit for the guys. He didn't get any credit for jumping up how many weight classes to fight a guy like Kovalev. He didn't get any credit for the fights with Triple G and Danny Jacobs at middleweight. So I think it's hard. And I think anything that somebody does or any great accomplishment they get, somehow, some way, you'll see the majority of the people put it down.
All right. And we got a big fight that's supposed to be happening at MSG on the 30th of May, somewhat, with T.O. and with Loma. What are your thoughts on that? And who are you picking to win that fight?
That's going to be a great fight. I'm going to go with Loma. I think Teofimo's a couple more fights before a fight like that. There's levels to everything, and I think Teofimo is a fantastic fighter. I think he could. He's got all the tools to be something great, but I think right now Lomachenko is there, and Lomachenko, I don't know how many more fights because of his style. He's getting a little older, and you start losing speed and timing. And for Lomachenko, with his style, that's the biggest thing. But if he could come out and still be the Lomachenko we know, I think that he goes in and he beats Teofimo. But not taking anything away from Teofimo. I think Teofimo has another year and a half before you see the total package displayed.
And what are your thoughts on Devin Haney? He's one of the biggest prospects in the world. Well, he's a champion now. Let me take that back. WBC champion. And do you feel like he's doing the right thing? Because I think he is with the way he's having his promotion and everything like that at such a young age. What do you think of that?
I think it's great. I think Haney's going to be that Haney's great for the sport too. Another good kid who could fight and is talented. It's going to be interesting to see him take his career take off too. And I'd like to see him start getting some of the big fights. I think he deserves it. And if Teofimo's getting it right now, fights like that, I think Haney could too.
All right, so you know me, I'm a sports guy. We're a sports site. You know, we cover more than just boxing. And I got some Cleveland questions for you. Who wins the title this year, Browns or Indians? Because the Cavs are out of it.
Oh, why you got to do that to me like that? All right, I think I'm going to have to say Indians. I don't know, though. I don't know what they picked up as far as the pitching rotation and whatnot. And what Lindor, I think did he resign with them?
Oh, he's still there.
He's still there?
Yeah,
I didn't pay. Yeah,
you know.
I didn't pay that much attention this year, but I'm going to, this preseason, during spring training, I'm going to pay attention. I would have to say them. I think the Browns got some work to do in the front office, and I think they'll make the right moves. But there's answers, and people want answers for some of the things that happened this past year with the Browns.
And what's your thoughts on OBJ and Landry? Do you think that they can make a big impact for you guys this year?
I hope so. I mean, my God, you look at all the talent you got there. I know there was tension, and it didn't come out, but you can see it between Mayfield, OBJ, and Landry, and I hope that they worked that out. And I hope that the Browns, the biggest thing, I don't care if they had Jerry Rice and whoever else, Randy Moss at receiver, and you have Barry Sanders at running back. When you don't have an offensive line, when your quarterback cannot get the feel of the game and learn the speed of the game without running for his life, it's hard to become a good quarterback. As I said before, there's levels. That's like a guy fighting 2 fights against 2 amateur guys that ain't that good, and then you put him in there against the Terrence Crawford. You know what I mean? He's not going to know what to do. He's not going to know how to handle himself. There's experience factors, and I think with the Browns, since '99, how many quarterbacks have you had that got ruined that were first-round draft picks, and it don't happen anywhere else? It always starts from the offensive line with the Browns. They have never gotten a good line. I don't want to hear Joe Thomas, because we don't even know how good Joe Thomas would have been if he was on the New England Patriots. So that's the biggest thing. You need somebody. You got to have time. The quarterback got to have time to read at the defense and throw to his star receivers. You know what I mean? You have to have that. So,
all right. So I'm guessing that we're not going to get Tom Brady to come in and challenge Baker for the job this year.
What Tom Brady do? Tom Brady had a great offensive line, but Tom Brady ain't going to be able to get the hell out of the way with his 46-year-old ass and somebody blitzing him with a line like that. He wouldn't do no good. You're better off with Mayfield in there.
Hey, you are so right about that.
Aaron Rodgers or the kid from Baltimore. Oh my God, why am I remembering? Let's get the quarterback.
Lamar?
Yeah, Lamar Jackson, right? Get him in there. You get a guy like Lamar at quarterback for the Browns, we're good.
See, and this man has the right idea. You go get yourself a mobile quarterback, it brings results because we're in a new NFL now. It's 2020 NFL. The mobile quarterback is alive and well. All right, so Kelly wants to go. I know he wants to get on them sliders and some of that good guacamole inside. So we're going to sign out right now. This is your boy Pop DiBiase for Fanatics View, and I'm gone.
Hey there, fight fans. Breon Page here with Fanatics View. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more knockouts, subscribe down below at Fanatics View.